Okay.
Back to the other question.
Kayla memorized the
Kayla's
list.
like, wait a second.
Wait, we missed
the
a
desire
question.
question.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today I have two of my friends, Savannah and Kayla. Kayla's in the back here. And we're going to be doing a singleness Q and A with our coffee. So yeah, let's get into the questions. The first question is tips for contentment. What do we have?
Prayer.
Prayer.
Prayer is always good.
And yeah, like I would just say time, really. Like for me anyway, like it's just taking time. Like I think a lot of people would think the opposite. Like the older you get, the more your friends will start being in relationships and getting married, things like that. But for me, like the older I've gotten, the more content I've been with being single.
I think like being able to know like you're in a season of it and like it's not gonna last forever, and like people around you are probably in relationships and stuff, but like your time will come, and like enjoy the time that you have being single, because there are things that you can do when you're single that you can't do when you're in a relationship.
Preach it. Like friends. Like you have time to have intentional friendships. Like take the time, don't sit at home all the time. Go make friends.
And also I think like don't wait to do those things that you want to do. Because I think a lot of people, like especially like young Christian people, like they think that their life doesn't start until they get married. And so they're like, oh, I would love to do this once I get married, or I can't wait to do this once I have someone to do it with. But like, why can't you just do those things either by yourself or with friends? Or so just don't like wait. Like don't wait to live your life waiting for someone, I think.
Yeah, and I heard this the other day about waiting. Like we're always in a waiting season. Like if you're single, you're waiting to be dating. If you're dating, you're waiting to be engaged. If you're engaged, blah 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 blah. You know, the story goes on. But so I think it's just like learning that in every season God is constant and nobody else is. And so if you're waiting for, you know, this guy, or you're waiting for this girl, or wherever you are, and like you're in that season all the time, like you're never gonna be content because you're always wanting something. And so you have to learn how to be content in Jesus first and foremost.
What characteristics do you look for in someone?
Juicy.
I mean, the basic is obviously like they're Christian, they believe the same things. But like more than that, we were talking about something that Sadie Robertson posted, where she was talking about kids. Because like the guy that you date and are going to like get married to is also going to be the father of your kids. And like, so looking for that. And for me, I've always been one that looks like, look at how he treats his siblings or his mom. Like the way he treats his mom is going to reflect how he's going to treat you. So like look for how he treats other people that are already in his life. Because that's a big indicator of how he's going to treat you and your future family.
I think too, like there's a difference between a Christian guy and a godly man. Like huge. And I used to just be like, oh, I just want a Christian. Like I never used to like dig into, okay, whoa, what actually is like a characteristic of a godly man. Being like intentional about looking for that and not just settling, because guess what, God has the best in store for you. You don't have to settle, and he's already called you chosen, he's called you loved, and so he's going to give you someone that is going to also help you in that area. And so don't settle for, you know, half-hearted. Settle for the best.
I was about to say, like, look at their relationship with God too, because I mean they need to put God first. I think that's something that's really important. Like just how we need to put God first, he needs to put God first too.
Good stuff.
Also a sense of humor is pretty great.
And somebody that's adventurous, because hiking trips, yes.
Do you believe in soulmates / the one?
I have a quote for this.
I'm going for this.
You guys go first.
Came prepared.
I believe that we can actually have multiple soulmates. Like I don't think that soulmates is technically something that can be between like a guy and a girl and like a relationship. Like it can be a friendship, or you know,
That's good.
like it doesn't have to be between it doesn't have to be a romantic thing, I think. So I believe that we have multiple soulmates. And yes, I do believe that we do have the one, like we have the one that God has chosen for us. Like that's already been done. Like he has made that decision for us.
Yeah, I would agree. Like I think, because I saw this like thing one time and it was like, there's somebody praying for you right now, basically talking about it. It was more detailed than that, but basically saying there is a guy out there right now who's praying for you, and that really stuck with me. Like God already knows who that person is, and it's just a matter of when you will cross paths with them. So yeah, like there is the one that God has like already planned for you, that like when he created them and he created you, like he knew that y'all would cross paths, but
in his timing too.
Yeah.
So important.
Okay, misquote.
I have my quote. I didn't want to like misquote this, that's why I wanted to pull it up. But I was reading this book recently. Also, shout out to this book. It's called A Love Letter Life by Jeremy and Audrey Roloff. Y'all, okay, no matter what stage of life you're in, read it. Like, I'm single Pringle, and I read it, and it changed everything for me. So, something in that book that really stuck with me, and I'm just gonna read it. So it says, do you get married when you see who God is making somebody to be and it lights you up? When you want to be a part of that story of transformation, that journey to the future, when you are well aware it'll be a long and bumpy ride, but you don't want to miss 1 mile because you believe in God's calling on them and you want in. Like, I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm just gonna leave it there because, like, that just speaks for itself. So, anyways, that's it.
Good. Everyone says once they were content in their singleness, they met the right guy. How can I do that? I think I'm content, but it's not happening for me.
I had one for this one.
Okay.
You're not really content.
Period.
Mic drop.
Yeah. That was my, like, you're not content. If, like, the reason you're content is because you're waiting for that person to come along.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not content.
Ooh,
so true.
So, because at the end of the day, like, marriage and finding someone, it's not guaranteed. Like, it is not guaranteed in the Bible that all of us are going to be married. Like, that, it says that clearly in the Bible.
Paul specifically says some people are supposed to stay single.
And so, you have to be content in that. And if you're waiting for someone and you think you're content and you're still waiting for someone, you're not content. So, we need to
I saw this thing. It was actually a TikTok funny story. And I tried to send it to them, but I disappeared before I could do it. And then I lost it, and I was like, oh, dang it. But it was saying, if you're not ready for marriage, you're not ready to date. Because why would you be dating if you're not dating to get married? Like, so if you're not like talking about, like, are you even ready for the commitment of marriage? Because marriage is a beautiful thing and there's lots of things that come from it, but like we were just talking about, there are things you can't do when you're married. Like, yes, you can still go out with your friends, but you have a commitment to your spouse first. And so, like, we can go hang out whenever we want to. There's no one like holding us back, you know, whereas when you're married, like, sometimes you have something with your spouse that's like already going on, or they need you for something, like, so are you ready for that commitment that comes with marriage? Like, and if you're not, then you're not ready to date either. All right,
sorry.
Does being content mean I can't have the desire to be married? No,
I have an answer for this one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I recently was at this young adult thing, and it was all about like relationships, but it was about like your relationship with God, not, you know, romantic relationships. And I think that it's so true that we all have that desire in our souls for, you know, love. And that can come from all forms, like friendships, boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage, family relationships, all that stuff. And the biggest thing though is, like, if you are desiring something before God, that's the issue. Like, at the end of the day, no matter what, like, no matter where you're at life, like, it's single, we desire things that, you know, are around us, but we have to keep in check that we're not desiring those things before God. And I think that I was at Passion Conference this past year, and they did such a good job talking about, like, marriage, because I think that the church oftentimes, like, idolizes marriage.
Put it on a pedestal.
It's put on a pedestal.
It's like this ultimate goal that you're trying to get.
And it's not, like, marriage is great, marriage is awesome, like Anna was saying, but it's not the end of the race, like Jesus is, like eternity is. And so why would we be focusing on a worldly relationship before our relationship with the Heavenly Father? And so I think that desire has to come, like, the desire of our souls is Jesus, no one else. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, was like at the end of the day, marriage is a worldly thing. Like, again, it says in the Bible, like, we won't have husbands and wives when we get to heaven. Like, that's just not going to happen. Like, those relationships won't be there anymore. It's just going to be about our relationship with God. So why are we putting so much focus and so much, you know, effort into this worldly relationship when we should be putting that effort into our relationship with God, and then the good things will just follow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I talked a lot about this in my Content and Singleness video. It's not necessarily the desire for marriage that's wrong most of the time. It's normally the motivation behind it. It's what you're wanting from marriage that's normally like, because it's like, I really wish I had somebody to whatever with. And that's not why you should be wanting marriage in the first place. And so that's where it kind of goes wrong.
Yeah.
How do I balance leaving it up to God but also wanting to look myself? I think this was an interesting question because, like, I can understand there's that natural tendency where it's like, oh, that guy's like you notice things about guys, like when you're looking at them. It's like, for me, I've had several instances where I noticed a guy was treating his sisters like super nice, and that really stood out to me. I was like, whoa, like, hey. Or there was one time this guy, he was a couple years younger than me, but he was always super respectful towards me. And so, like, I've noticed those things. And so, like, I don't think it's wrong to notice those things, but you shouldn't just be like, I've also went through the phase of every single guy that I crossed paths with, I would like
picture in your mind.
Yeah, exactly. I would just be like analyzing every little thing that they said or did, like, maybe, you know, this could be whatever. Like, I think that's not really helpful.
And I think too, it's like, it comes down, okay, also gonna reference another book. So all these books, maybe Anna will link them down below, but
I'll link them down below for you.
It's called Single, Dating, Engaged, Married. Y'all, okay, when I tell you drop everything and read that book.
Ben Stewart, right?
Ben Stewart speaks like life over all this. Anyways, so he talks about that, you know, you don't want to be, you know, looking at somebody or interested in somebody that's not running the same pace as you in your relationship with God. And so I think that the biggest way that you can leave it up to God but also kind of like take action is going and serving in your church, going and serving your community, because then people will start coming around your life and you're like, whoa, this guy, he's a really cool servant's heart. And this guy's after God's own heart. And so that is like when you're going to find those people. I'm not saying you're going to go to church and you see your dream man right there. But it's like, honestly, do you think you're gonna find a man of God in a bar or in a church more? That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to know your environment, and you have to go to places that could be more realistically, okay, this is maybe where God's leading me. So
yeah, and I think I referenced it in my IGTV video that I just posted recently. You have to be the person, like, be the girl that the right guy is going to be attracted to. Like, and that's part of your, like, looking job. Like, God will bring the right person at the right time, but the right time is not going to be when you're not chasing after God. Like, you have to be putting in the effort for yourself and have yourself in the right position with God, and then that person will come along. If you're, like, just fooling around, throwing stuff away because you're like, well, it doesn't matter right now because I'm not married, so who cares what I do? Like, that's the wrong mindset to have. Sadie Robertson's husband, Christian, she said, are you keeping your future spouse in mind in your actions now? Because that's going to affect them one day. And that, like, shook me so hard, because now I'll do something and I'll be like, wait, like, I'll even, just things I look at, I'll be like, am I considering them and, like, how that could affect them later? Are you keeping their thoughts in mind?
Yeah, you'll have to have that conversation with him too. That's what he said. And he was saying how, like, him talking to Sadie was the hardest thing he's ever had to do. And that just, like what you just said, Anna, just really shook me, because it is true. Like, you're gonna have that conversation one day.
I feel like all the good guys are taken, or am I doing something wrong?
Ooh.
I mean, I don't think you're doing anything wrong. It's just,
and I don't think all the good guys are taken either.
The right person just hasn't come along yet. And
and also,
and like we were talking about, like, well, I think we were about to say the same thing. Like, you're gonna act, like, you attract the way you act.
I was about to say.
That's why modest is hottest.
Yep.
Just saying.
But, yeah, like, the good guys are never gonna come around if you aren't acting like what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I always go back to Proverbs 31.
Yeah.
That was a mom telling her son, this is who you're looking for.
Yeah.
That wasn't describing an already wife.
No.
It was describing a single girl acting as the one.
Whoa, that was good. Already wife. Oh, okay. Go off, Hannah.
But also be yourself too. Like, don't like, because I mean, if you're being like fake and you attract someone and then
and like maybe it's not easy for you to act that way, and that means you need to
grow.
Like grow yourself, work on your relationship with God before you start chasing that.
I heard this, and I think this is a perfect way to end it with this question is, you will never have a good horizontal relationship if your vertical relationship with God is not good. Like, that is so true. That doesn't even mean relationships. I mean, like, romantic, like, friendships. Like, you have to give grace to all the people in your life.
Yeah.
And that, you have to give love to everybody in your life. So if you don't have that love and grace from God, and that's not overflowing in your life, you're never going to have a horizontal relationship that glorifies Him.
No.
Yeah. All right, the last question. How do I know when I'm ready for marriage? Like I said earlier, if you're not ready, like, first of all, if you're not ready for marriage, you're not ready to date. But how do you know when you're ready for marriage?
I don't think it's something that anyone is ever
ready
like, yes,
for.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
But, like, I think before you get married, it's very important to be comfortable and content within yourself and your relationship with God.
Yeah.
Like, if you know for a fact that your relationship with God is not really strong, and like Kayla was saying, like, that the relationship with the people around you isn't gonna be very strong either. And so, yeah, like, I think honestly, like, you need to be completely content being yourself in your relationship with God. And then that person that gets to come along with you in your life, then that's great.
Yeah.
But also, if there's not going to be that person that's going to come along with you, that's
then
fine
you're
too.
fine with
that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be okay with that.
And no person can ever fill a God-sized
No.
hole.
Yeah.
And so, like, the person, I heard this one time, it's so good. It's like the person that you will do life with, if you do life with somebody, should not complete you, they should compliment you. Like, they should not complete you, because they can't. If you put that pressure on them, it is not going to work out well. And it's going to end really badly, because you cannot put that type of pressure on a human being.
Yeah.
And so that's why so many relationships fail. It's because people are searching, because they're insecure, they're lonely, they're depressed, they're anxious, and they're searching for that in another human being. But you cannot get that in a human being. God alone can fill that hole. And so you have to have that mindset going into life in general. And so
well, that was all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below if you have any more questions, any other singleness videos you want to see, if you want to see them do more with me. And go follow me over on Instagram. I'll put it on the screen somewhere, I don't know. And don't forget to live in grace and love with grace, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
such a slow
She drinks
drinker.
fast like me.
Yeah.
We had that debate the other day. I drank my
Anna
whole
drank
thing, and
entire
she hadn't
thing.
drank
I
like
drink
half of it.
several.
Also, sorry, I don't know why I said single Pringle, but anyways, okay, we're going from there. So they said, wait, was there one before that? The Desire one?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I
memorized the list.
No.
Wow, the back is like fogged up. Look at that.
Oh wow, all of our
cool.
breath, y'all.
Okay.
We're speaking live.
Speaking live. Okay, I feel like all the good guys are
Copyrighted.
taken. Or am I, what?
It's a copyrighted.
What's copyrighted?
Music in the background.
Copyrighted.
I think there's a church around here somewhere.
Oh,
They like sing.
down here somewhere.